Hi everyone, it's Mr. Campagna. Today's question is, how can I synthesize the relationship between radiation intensity and distance and apply it to a real-world scenario? So today we're going to be taking a look at the data that you collected in a previous lesson. So today's lesson objective, we're going to synthesize the relationship between radiation intensity and distance and apply it to a real-world scenario. So you're going to want to get out your data tables from the previous lesson. We're going to graph the data and draw a conclusion. The first method involves using the drawing tools as found in Google Sheets. The second method, I want you to double check if it's all right with your teacher, but you would be taking your data, putting it into Google Sheets, and then converting it into a line graph. You may also have the option to draw it out in a traditional way with graph paper. So here I've created some sample data for us to manipulate while creating this graph. You can see here our first point would be 50 millimeters in distance and 200 particles. So how do you plot that? Well, there's several ways. The way that I like the best would be to go to the shape tool, go to equation, and take one of these multiplication signs. It gives you a nice visible X where you can see exactly where you're going to be putting something. So let's go back to our data table, and you can see our first spot was 50 millimeters high and 200 particles. So we're going to go from 50 and 200. And you just draw it like you would draw anything else. Now the nice thing about it is when it's highlighted like that, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move the point around. Let's do the next point. 100 and 150. Go to your shape tool, equation, multiply. 100 and 150, 100 and 150. Next, we're going to find 150 and 125. Also, if you're concerned about the X's being different sizes, you could also clone them by selecting them and then tapping Control C and then Control V. And then you could duplicate them and move them around. Okay, so I finished the rest of those off camera. Now, what you can do to connect those points is take the line tool, and you're going to start off at your first data point, which in this case would have been 50 millimeters. And you're going to draw a line from one point to the next, to the next, to the next. And if you don't want to do it this way, you also have the option of doing a best fit line. Just try and get an equal number above and below the line. It's helpful for making predictions. And we could always change the color of the line. I'm going to make it red. I'm going to change the weight of the line as well. So there's a few options here. Now I do have to say, this probably isn't the best tool to be plotting points with. I want to show you another technique. So another option may be to go to your data table and select everything. You're then going to hold down Control and click the C button. You can also right-click the area and click Copy. Then I'd like you to open up a Google Sheets document. Anywhere in this field, you can hold down Control V. You could always also right-click Paste. So here's our data table. With it highlighted, you can then go to Insert, Chart, and it'll default to a line chart. So there's our line chart, exactly like the last one that we have from before. And then in which case you could select the line chart, again, Control C or Copy, and then go back to your assignment, and you can then paste that down. It's going to ask you to link to the spreadsheet, and you can hit paste. And then in which case we can just adjust the size to fit how you'd like it. You also have a third option. If you'd like, you could always get a sharp pencil, a piece of graph paper, and do it the old-fashioned way. So that wasn't too bad, was it? You do have a few more assignments listed under independent work, so you might as well get started on that. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.